Yo, what's up? It is B. Lee here, Branden-Lee Butler. And in that last podcast, that's crazy, right? Guys in here talking about dolphin governments and all this conspiracy bullcrap. And, dude, I'll tell you what, this last year has been crazy. I met that guy just by playing video games. As I said, be careful who you talk to. I should have watched Ready Player One because that guy is nuts. I don't believe anything he's saying. I just sit there and listen and I crack up. But, man, I don't know what it is lately between my neighbor and I, in that podcast, I'm about the happiness and all. It's just been a lot of junk and bull crap going on lately. I don't know. I feel like I don't know, maybe I'm getting targeted now because of the podcast, dude. I don't know. I mean, I'm too stupid, or is my book I wrote? I don't know. I was pushed through school, so I don't know anything about, giving anyone manuscripts or, how to, I don't know. I just don't know. All I'm doing is going off of what I know, and that is not a lot. And hence that being said, I mean, hey, here I am now. Dude, this has been a crazy year. Apparently, so I wrote this book, right? It's called Skits and Wits, which I pulled from the U.S. here. I actually pulled it from Amazon altogether, but apparently there's still a copy floating around. And in this book, I talked about how I started my business. It was it was a memoir. So pretty much my memories, right? And a lot of grammar mistakes, but if you read and listened to this book, it was like a setup from the start, right? For the person who edited it. Because I talk about my business and why I shut down my business. And of course, that was because I can't find quality employees and people who can do the job correctly. Now, as I go around and I do these networking events and go to these different businesses events and try to network with other business people, because I haven't found my friends yet. It's kind of the reason why I wish I went to college, just to be able to have that experience and define my people, right? And when I say my people, I'm not talking about just a race, right? I'm talking about my people, my friends, same like-minded individuals. So that's why I started networking, going to these network events and stuff. And there's a lot of different things that I find out about, the business world and then what goes on and how things actually are. A lot of people think that, you have a business, they think you make buku dollars, right? They think you make a lot of money, right? My kid's mom thought that, my family thinks that, but no one knows how business actually works. Even though you might be a founder, right? It takes time to build a business and get established, right? The guy from Starbucks, this guy didn't pay himself. I think I found a post. He didn't pay himself, I think, at least for the first 3 years. I did the same thing with my business, my company. I was still working full time while I was still doing my business. And then I became a single dad, and I was like, you know what? Let me try to have some freedom. I took it a little bit more seriously, but I never paid myself. I invested back into the business, and that was before I found out about Grant Cardone. But it was more of a common sense thing. Now, I grew up poor, right? Now, if you're like, oh, you're poor, everyone's poor is different, all right? I actually did grow up pretty poor. There's a time where and the reason why, I was homeless at one time, I had it pretty hard. I was homeless one time in my life after, when I was about, I want to say 23, 20, 21, 20, my early 20s, let's just put it like that. And I was hopping on friends' couches back and forth, trying to figure it out and, find my way. I couldn't find a job for whatever reason. It just went all downhill at once. But I didn't let that defeat me. And I was sleeping in my car. I used to go to the laundromat to take a bird bath in there real quick, wash some clothes, and keep going. And that's what separates you from everybody else. I had to go through that hardship. So I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I'm not afraid to be, that poor guy. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to, to lose everything, I guess just to say. To get back to where I'm at. I don't want to get back to where I was that far before, so that's why I hustle and do anything I can. But hence that, my poor was, you get so hungry that you ain't hungry anymore. You know what I mean? Your stomach's so empty that you just ain't even hungry anymore. And most people don't even realize that. And they only see, what they want to see. All right. They only see, what the after result. They don't see what it took to get there. And people still ask me today, they're like, dude, it looks like you made it, blah, blah, blah. They say I made it, but I don't think I did. They're like, why are you doing all this? Why are you working so hard? Why are you doing all this? I said, well, first of all, I'm 32 years old. All right. Retirement age, 62. All right. 62. I'm sorry, 65. My bad. But I'm trying to retire. I still have a lot of life in me. I started losing weight, right? I was a truck driver. All right. I lost weight. So then I became more active. I had my kids early. My first kid at 21, right? So I'm enjoying my time with my kids and getting out and being active, right? I used to be unactive, over 250 pounds, fat, breathing heavy all the time, just heavy all the time. The heck with that, bro. I changed my ways. I changed my lifestyle. I changed the way I eat because I want to be around for my kids, right? So that was something that was really different. And then when I was getting about my employees at that time, bro, is like I couldn't find the right ones. And I found out it's all about education level. So I closed down my business beginning of the year, January 26th. I'm sorry, actually December of last year, 2025, to restructure. Like I'm tired of, working all the time, trying to find employees. And I was saying when I was traveling around talking to all these different people, what I found out as, at these events, it's really about the education level. Because I talk to these people and they're like, oh yeah, I have these great employees. They do this, they do that. But quite frankly, those people have degrees. Like they go to school for, what they went to school for. Whether it's accounting, whether it's business management, whatever it is. And what I find out is these people are paying. I'm going to go to New York to do these networking events because I found and stumbled across it because New York is a very diverse place, right? So when I say diverse, it's one of the first places where they started the gender neutral bathrooms, really big on, LGBTQ community and things of that sort. And so I figured that'd be a great place to network and do business. Now people are like, oh, why would you drive 3 hours, to get there? Well, one, I love Harrisburg, PA, because we're an hour and a half from Baltimore, 2 hours from DC, 3 hours from New York City, every big city, 2 hours from Philly. So that's why I do that, is because the bigger cities, my city, Harrisburg, PA, is population of 50,000 people, right? If you look online, the city is 50,000. So all I'm getting at is I like to be diverse, right? The only thing, I went to this event just recently, and I have that guy, like I said, he's in Spain. I met him on a video game. He's telling me that I keep racism alive by constantly talking about it. But I was blinded. That's why I go in this book. I talk about it in my book. All my life, I've been blinded by it. I've never really noticed it until I got older. And they said, and everyone that says, you got to get that out of your head. You got to stop thinking like that. That's not the way to think. Is mainly people who are white or don't know how it is to be black. I mean, it's just the way it is. And unfortunately, I run across a lot of people who are in the black community, but I go to these other cities, and like in my city, a lot of us black people, because I'm black, regardless of how I talk or would speak or whatever, right? Regardless of all that, we don't really hold I want to say our standards high. If we say the business is closed, the business opens up at 8 a.m., sometimes they don't open up until 10, and there's no sign at the door that says, hey, or there's no answer machine that says, hey, do this or do that, or hey, we were closed for quite some time. Now, there's two people that I like to say, I call my cousin, I'll tell her, she lives in the D.C. area. And I'm like, look, there's two type of people, man. You got white trash and you got white class. You got black trash and you got black class. Now, me, I'm black class. I tried my best to be on time. I take care of myself, self-care. I make sure I smell good, look good, feel good. Those are my things. Smell good, look good, feel good, do good. Right off the bat. So the thing is, is I go to these networking events, and they're really diverse. But this last year, it wasn't a diverse. This past event, it was. I tried to talk to these people, and they were older white gentlemen, but they didn't talk to me. They gave me the cold shoulder, or they were still stuffing their face eating. And I'm like, yo, they were really ignorant. But I made them talk to me. I don't care if you don't want to talk to me. I'm still going to make you talk to me because I'm a salesman at heart. And for those older people and even younger people still today, you're ignorant. You're stupid. Like, really, you're stupid. Because I don't care if I don't like you or if I do like you. I'm still going to make sure I make money with you either way, right? I don't care if you're a raccoon or a lobster or an alien or whatever, a human, a dinosaur, whatever you are, I'm going to make money with you, right? And right in front of my face, you can smile and say whatever you want. And behind my back, you can call me whatever you want. I don't care. All I know is that at the end of the day, as long as you pay that invoice, which is the same for everyone, my numbers don't change. Or when I was, doing my cleaning, it's the same with everyone, right? I don't care who or what you are. I'm still going to make money with you, right? Because the only thing I see is those numbers on that check and that piece of green going in my hand, which is the money, baby. And I call that the honey. So my thing is, I was really surprised at this event I went to, and I'm probably going to stop going. I'm going to quit this networking event because there's a lot of older white gentlemen there, and even some ladies too, that wouldn't talk to me. Now, maybe it was because of my appearance. I got some piercing and stuff in, and I'm an artist now. And people are like, well, what are you an artist of? I said, I'm an artist of everything. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, I'm an artist of everything. It doesn't matter. He said, I'm an artist. When it comes to music, painting, working, doing whatever it is, I'm an artist. Now, people are like, a person that's with about art, right? Art can be anything. It could be writing. It could be taking a walk down the street. It could be tying your shoes. It could be just your consistent way that you go to work, right? It doesn't just have to be visual, all right? So back to this event, just talking about how just ignorant people are. And like my guy said, I'm keeping racism alive by talking about it, but I don't think it'll ever stop. But it is what it is. Those people are ignorant and rude. I'm probably going to stop going. But I feel like, I was blinded. And it goes back to my book. And I talk about that in this book. And I got a lot of backlash about this book. But I talk about how, I started to do my business the correct way first. And I made sure it was legit because I piss a lot of people off. That's what I was going to do because I knew installed inside me, like I said, I was built for business. Now, I'm saying built. I'm not talking about in a machine or in a lab. I'm just saying I've always been a business type of person, a hustler, right? When I was younger, I always was selling cars, got them on Craigslist, fixing them up, or selling candy. I've always been a hustler. And there was one guy I met in my life, and he told me, we had a great conversation, and he said, Brandon, he said, I don't care if anybody has a business degree or not. He said, you can't teach business. You can have the best degree, you can have the master's, but you either have it or you don't. There's nothing you can do about it. You either have it or you don't. And I agree with him. And the reason why, because I tested it out inside my business where I said it comes down to education, because I'm only so good at what I know, right? So I didn't know a lot, business-wise, accounting-wise, and stuff like that. And what I come to find out is that those people that I hired that were smart, what I thought were smarter than me, they're book smart. And that's okay. That's what they're good at, right? Everybody's good at something. But me, I'm good at managing. I'm good at managing people, right? I'm good at finding out what works, what doesn't work. And I have a bunch of experiences that I experienced in a short amount of time. So that is what makes me different. And I think that's what makes me strive. Plus, I had a pretty rough background growing up. Not rough as in issues with, issues with the law or stuff like that. But it was more of, I had to grow up quick. I was the oldest of four. My mom had me young. So I grew up quick, right? So I lived on my own when I was, 17 years old. I got my first apartment while I was still in high school. And I talk about that in my book, and people are like, yo, how did you do that? Like, that was a great thing. That's really good. I'm proud that you did that. And then they're like, that's really good. But I said, you got to think of this. There had to be something going on really wrong for a young kid at 17 to move out their house early while still in high school, right? Now, I'm not putting down, my parents or, my grandparents or anybody else, but sometimes, you just got to fly on your own. Some birds, they push their babies right out of the nest. And they either fly or they crash. And 9 times out of 10, they fly. So that's what I did. And I grew up quick, got out on my own, and I didn't go to college. And the reason why is because I was a party animal. I'm not going to lie. I used to like to drink. I drink a lot. And that was what I was doing, man. That's why I didn't go to IUP, because they say I usually party. And I was going to party. But now I look back, like I said, I wish I would have had those experiences and try to meet those people. Some of my associates, some of their long-term friends are the ones that they went to college and school with that they had. Now I don't have any friends. I have acquaintances. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a wife. And some people like to say I don't have a life. But, I mean, I kind of enjoy the life that I live. I shouldn't say I kind of. I do enjoy the life that I live because I'm living it to the fullest, to the best that I can. And, of course, I like to feel that I woke up this morning, I put my shoes on, somebody else could be taking their shoes off. So even though I got a lot of crappy stuff maybe going on in my life, I still try to, remain positive and bring in that positive energy, into me. There's, like I talk about, energy vampires. People are just trying to test you constantly all the time. And I don't understand why. I don't know if it's something in the air or if everybody read this book called the dark psychology, which came out not too long ago. The art of dark psychology. But the world we live in is freaking nuts. And people are rude. Not everybody, but a lot of people are just rude. That's mainly because they don't like their life or where they're going. And, they try to take that out on other people, who, like me, who are just happy-go-lucky, running around with my headphones in, making noise. And, people just hate on people like that who are just generally cool. And I know I'm cool. A lot of people, they try to say, like I said, I bump shoulders with some people, and, they say, I'm lame and all this other stuff. But you know what Jay-Z say? Okay, cost you, pay you no mind, right? Mind your business. It pays you nothing. That's all you got to do. Mind your business. I mind mine. We keep on striving. But this isn't a business podcast. This is me chatting along. I'm still got to get somebody in here to do this LGBTQ joint. I actually did meet somebody at McDonald's, and I was doing some Ubering. I like doing some Ubering for extra cash. I love that. I also do DoorDash and Zelle and a few other type of things just because it's in my free time. I was a truck driver. So in my free time, I was like, I don't have nothing to do. I'm about to go hit the Uber up. But it was funny because it's LGBTQ month. But like I said, I'm a single guy, right? So I was hollering at this lady at the window. Oh, yo, what's up? Da-da-da-da. She gave me some playback. And then he's like, you got to pull up to the side and wait for your order. I said, all right, make sure that receipt come with your number on it. She was like, okay. He came outside and gave me my food. I was like, all right, so what's up? You got your number on there? And her voice got really deep. Like, yeah. She's like, oh, yeah. Oh, I said, what's going on? She said she knows she transitioned or whatever. And I was like, I said, well, you did really good because you fooled me. You did a really great job. And she was cracking up. But it was funny to me because I thought it was like Wendy Williams or something. Wendy Williams got a deep voice. I listened to this other lady. I think her name is Lisa Hermosi. She's another business person. She has a really deep voice too, but they're actually females, right? Because they have kids and stuff. So I was cracking up, and I was like, "Yo, can I have you, come on my podcast?" And I'm a procrastinator, so I wanted to get her on here just to tell, how her experiences is, and maybe why she chose that and different stuff, because like I said, I like talking to anybody. And but it just cracked me up because it fooled me. I shouldn't say it. I apologize. She fooled me. She fooled me, man. I was cracking up. I was dying. I was like, yo, what the heck? But I told her, like I said, it was great because she did a great job. However, they do that. And like me, I'm a designer, right? I talk about, when I say designer, I like a sense of fashion. I got a good taste. I like class. And the people who wear the clothes the most are mainly, gay people, gay guys, models and stuff like that, even females and stuff, because they wear it fitting and they take care of their look, and it's all about the look. And I like Jeffree Star because he popped up on my Snapchat feed one time. Like, who the heck is it? But now, I don't know if he considers himself a female or what, or I don't know what it is, a transsexual, I don't know. But for someone who is a guy, who makes their own, I know he's not the only person, but he's just the one that I know, makes their own makeup line, male nails, all that, and to dominate that industry is freaking amazing. Most people don't even know the guy who created the bra was actually a straight guy, and he came up and designed the bra for women, right? Same thing with, actually, let me fact check that. Same thing with Victoria's Secret. You know what I mean? So it's a man who owns that and came up with Victoria's Secret. And I think that's really cool because me personally, me being a single guy, when I travel, sometimes I buy lingerie just in case I might run into some lucky lady out there, have one of them nice bar nights. I pull out my fresh, clean lingerie because I'm a lingerie dude. I love that type of stuff. I've been to Paris and I didn't know that was a really big thing over there. I kind of missed out on that. And the reason why is because I travel by myself and I'm always scared. I see all these Snapchat videos and stuff of guys getting robbed and these passport bros and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want to be a passport bro. I wake up and everything is gone, bro. Like, what? That'd be crazy, right? I'd be like, man, get the hornet. They done got me, bro. What is going on? But hey, look, to each his own. I'm over here rambling on about a bunch of nothing now. So, give me a like and subscribe, share my podcast. I hope all these episodes you learn something from and grab something. I'm trying to get better as I go over time, better equipment, better people. And I got to stop procrastinating. I got so many hobbies and activities going on that I drive myself nuts. Sometimes I don't know how I get any sleep, but I do drink some coffee, man. That's my thing. I've been drinking coffee lately and a lot. So, coffee crunching. Oh, let me look up. Let's see. Who invented the female bra? First bra was patented by and solicited by Mary Felt Jacobs, later known as Cerise Crosby. Let's see here. Mary. Oh, it was a lady. Hold on. In 1940. Mary Cerise Crosby. Maybe it was all right. Who came up with the Victoria's Secret? See, I gotta fact check my own stuff. Roy Raymond and his wife. So that's what I was getting at. I shouldn't say who created a bra, but Roy Raymond and his wife came up with Victoria's Secret, which is one of the top things. Even when I was a kid, I used to watch the Victoria's Secret runway show all the time. All the time. I mean, come on, man. As a young man growing up, that was the closest thing to girls going wild. And man, I miss those shows. I've never seen the bus ride downtown in Harrisburg. Now you don't see it anymore. I'm like, yo, I know I'm gonna go see the Girls Going Wild bus. We'll go see it. And when I get older, I turn around, I'm gonna go downtown. On Halloween, I'm gonna go to see Girls Going Wild. And well, I never got a chance to experience it because it's not even around anymore since I turned 21. But yeah, so Roy Larson Raymond was a businessman who founded the Victoria's Secret lingerie store, and I think that's pretty cool, man. He's one of the founders. So yeah, man. So I hope you enjoy. So I learned from this podcast, fact check everything, have an open mind, be diverse, get money with anyone and anything. I'm gonna try to get some money off some of these flies or gnats running around for the summertime. It's cookout time. I'm gonna find a way. And oh yeah, let's go World Cup. Whoever you voting for, let's go World Cup. Let's get it.